Today we are diving into some of the most intense rivalries in rock history. Behind the music and fame, these legends could not stand each other. Let's explore 10 rock stars whose hatred shook the industry and uncover exactly why. First up are Axl Rose and Slash from Guns N' Roses. These two icons created some of the hardest-hitting music of the late 80s and early 90s. However, their partnership was far from smooth. Axl's perfectionism and controlling nature clashed with Slash's laid-back rock attitude. Axl's constant changes to set lists and delayed tour starts frustrated Slash and the rest of the band. During the Use Your Illusion tour, Axl refused to let Slash have any creative input on the music. The tension grew until Slash left the band in 1996. The two traded public insults for years. Axl accused Slash of being unreliable, while Slash called Axl a control freak. Surprisingly, in 2016, Slash rejoined Guns N' Roses, and their reunion tour became one of the highest-grossing in history, showing that even deep grudges can sometimes heal. Next are the Gallagher brothers, Noel and Liam from Oasis. This sibling feud is perhaps the most famous and explosive in rock. Noel was the main songwriter and guitarist, while Liam's raw voice made him the perfect frontman. Their volatile personalities and egos led to frequent fights, both verbal and physical. One fight reportedly involved Noel punching Liam in a hotel room. Their arguments often escalated on stage and in interviews, with harsh insults. The constant tension eventually caused Oasis to break up in 2009, disappointing millions of fans. Despite occasional attempts at reconciliation, the brothers have mostly remained estranged. Their feud has become rock folklore, proving that family ties cannot always survive the pressures of fame. David Lee Roth and Eddie Van Halen had a complicated relationship in Van Halen. Roth's wild, party-centric persona fit the band's early energy, but as the band evolved, their disagreements grew. Roth wanted to keep the image fun and carefree, while Eddie focused more on musicianship and serious songwriting. Creative clashes became frequent. Roth left the band in 1985 amid rumors of personal and professional conflict. He later said he felt the band's direction was changing away from what he loved. In 2007, they reunited for a tour, but it ended abruptly. Roth said he was unfairly blamed for problems, while Eddie suggested Roth's lifestyle didn't fit the band's needs. Their feud shows how changing priorities can split even talented collaborations. John Lennon and Paul McCartney had one of the most famous partnerships in music history, yet their relationship became strained. Early on, their collaboration was intense but friendly. As the Beatles became superstars, personal differences and creative disputes grew. Lennon was more experimental and outspoken, while McCartney preferred polished melodies. By 1969, tensions boiled over due to disagreements about management and the band's direction. Lennon grew frustrated with McCartney's control, and their split became public and bitter. They privately reconciled before Lennon's death in 1980. But their feud reminds us that even the greatest creative partnerships can falter. Kurt Cobain of Nirvana and Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses represented very different sides of early 90s rock. Cobain was the raw, grunge spirit, authentic, anti-establishment, and deeply personal. Axl was the theatrical rock star known for his temper and extravagance. Cobain criticized Guns N' Roses for excess and attitude, calling them corporate rock. Axl responded with subtle digs at Nirvana and Cobain's struggles. Though they never confronted each other directly, their feud symbolized a cultural shift in rock. Cobain's tragic in 1994 ended any chance of resolution. But their rivalry remains an iconic clash between two eras. Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley are the driving forces behind Kiss. Their partnership has often been a battleground. Simmons' aggressive, business-first attitude clashed with Stanley's focus on melody and fan connection. Simmons pushed for a hard-hitting image and control, while Stanley wanted to evolve musically and appeal broadly. They have argued over songwriting credits, touring, and creative control since the 1970s. Despite their conflicts, their combined vision made Kiss one of the most recognizable bands in rock history. Their feud shows how creative tension can sometimes fuel success. Freddie Mercury and Roger Taylor shared the spotlight in Queen, but their relationship was complex. Mercury's charismatic presence and flamboyant style sometimes overshadowed the other members. Taylor, a powerhouse drummer and vocalist, wanted more recognition and creative input. They often disagreed on the musical direction, with Taylor preferring harder rock and Mercury leaning toward theatrical influences. Though they had personal differences and occasional clashes, their respect for each other kept Queen moving forward and contributed to the band's timeless music. Ozzy Osbourne and Tony Iommi shaped heavy metal, but their relationship was difficult. Osbourne's addiction and erratic behavior caused tension with Iommi, the main songwriter who sought professionalism. Their differences led to Osbourne's firing from the band in 1979. Though they reunited later for tours and albums, bitterness lingered. Their feud illustrates the challenge of balancing creativity, personalities, and fame in a band. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards are rock royalty, but their partnership has weathered many storms. Richards' rebellious style clashed with Jagger's ambition and professionalism. They often fought over musical direction, management, and lifestyle choices. Jagger criticized Richards' drug use, while Richards resented Jagger's control. Despite years of tension, their collaboration produced some of rock's most enduring music. Their story proves that conflict can sometimes breed creativity. Finally, Amy Winehouse and Blake Civil had a turbulent relationship that impacted her life and music deeply. Their toxic romance was marked by drug abuse, emotional manipulation, and public drama. Blake introduced Amy to substances that worsened her struggles. Their fights and breakups often played out in the media, affecting her career and health. This tragic relationship shows how personal conflicts can destroy even the most gifted artists. That wraps up our look at 10 rock legends, whose rivalries left a mark on music history.